start with our prayer. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiritam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvi Gnantiye Bhuvida Janaha. Let we be protected, let we be nourished. Let we study with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. Your nectar-like words and warm and inspiring life stories, eulogized by learned sages, are indeed eradicator of shoots of ignorance. These are auspicious to hear, and it is propitious to inculcate in one's life. Those who take these words to the world are indeed great benefactors of the world. So we are studying Sri Sarada Devi and her divine play. So one aspect we have heard that when we want to tread on a righteous path, then we come closer to great ones, because it is very difficult to understand what is religion, what is righteousness, what is spiritual life. There are so many mata and patha, so many ways, so many isms. It is very difficult to understand and follow the path. Therefore, we must take the path the great one have taken. Mahajano yena gata sapantha. When Yaksha asked Yudhishthir, what is the way, what is the path? Then he said, the path trodden by great ones are indeed real path. It's very difficult, because this world is a place of confusion. Many opposing thoughts come here, are expressed here. Therefore, those who are sincere, those who are eager to walk on this path, they don't want to spend time searching and assessing what is the real path. So they follow the path that is taken by the Great One. We are so fortunate that we have a tradition where great lives were lived. Our predecessors are great ones. So we are really fortunate. Many times, spirituality means lots of show. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, এখানে কোনো ঢং নেই. There is no show here, show business here. It's very difficult to translate his words. So here we find simple life. And simple life we find in Mother also. We find in Sri Ramakrishna, we find in Mother, for that matter, all the disciples, great disciples. And not only that, later also. You know, how we know this is a mango tree or this is an apple tree? We know by its fruits. If we find in this path, in this religious tradition, lives are made, lives are transformed, know for certain this is the path. And we find a lot of devotees, they realize the soul, they realize the self. So this is why, that is the reason why we are studying this. And especially Sri Ramakrishna played a pivotal role in the upliftment of this modern era. And Holy Mother, though it is not very popular, or it was not popular, now gradually it is getting popular, but her life was a supportive of Sri Ramakrishna's life. And many an incidents we find it is clear by her life. For example, Sri Ramakrishna would say, Ghrina lajja bhoy tin thakte noy. Ghrina means abhorrence, lajja and bhoy. Lajja means shame and fear. Sri Ramakrishna would say that if you have these three things, then you cannot attain. So his attitude is, if you think that this path is, you are afraid of walking on that path, then you cannot achieve. Or if you are hesitant to walk on this path, then you cannot achieve. Like that. But Mother's teaching is opposite, seemingly opposite, but that is real. Mother says, Ghrina lajja bhoy tin thakte hoy. Ghrina means abhorrence, lajja means shame, and bhoy means fear. When a person hates bad path, or he is shy of walking on bad path, bad practices, and he is afraid to go even to bad, to cultivate bad qualities. So if someone has got these three qualities, then it will happen. That means he is afraid to go to the wrong path. That means he will follow what is right path. So this is complementary to each other. Similarly, we will find lots of things. Say like Sri Ramakrishna was very disciplinarian, and he would restrict how much to eat, etc., what to do, and meditate more. Mother, on the other hand, Mother would give freedom. My children will eat, and I'll look after them. So children are very happy regarding that. Whereas mothers are happy feeding children. So anyway, what we find that in Avatar Leela, in the play of this incarnation, we have a wonderful combination of both um, father and mother. So, with these few words, we'll start mm, the biography.
So we're on page 142.
Correct.
The young disciples renounced their homes and surrendered themselves to Ramakrishna. Holy Mother was the only witness to the following incident, which reveals how the Master protected his disciples. One evening, Niranjan and a few other disciples decided to get juice from a date palm near the southern boundary of the garden. The Master was told nothing about this. When it was dark, Niranjan and others walked toward the tree. A short time later, Holy Mother saw the Master running down the steps and through the door. She wondered, how is this possible? How can one who needs help even to change his position in bed run like an arrow? She could not believe her eyes, so she went to the Master's room to see if he was there. He was not. In great consternation, she looked all around but could not find him. With much apprehension, Holy Mother returned to her room. After a while, Holy Mother saw the Master running swiftly back to his room. She then went to him and asked him about what she had seen. He replied, "Oh, you noticed that. You see, the boys who have come here are all young. They are proceeding merrily to drink the juice of a date palm in the garden. I saw a black cobra there. It is ferocious and it might have bitten them all. The boys did not know this. So I went there by a different route to drive it away. I told the snake, 'Don't come here again.' The Master asked her not to tell the others about this."
Okay, so this is an incident where we find that this incident was witnessed by Holy Mother. Otherwise, we would not have learned this. So, let us remind ourselves that previous to this, the incident happened when Hari Maharaj came to see Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna was telling, I'm in pain, I have this difficulty, that difficulty, that means it is difficult to eat, and I'm in great pain. Then Sri Ramakrishna, sorry, then Harimar said, Harimar means Swami Turiyananda, later Swami Turiyananda, that you are saying that you are in great pain, but I see that you are in great joy. Then he said, this rascal has caught me red-handed. Shala dhore feleche. So that's his colloquial way of talking. So that means what? That Sri Ramakrishna and devotees also thought that he was paining as suffering from cancer, but within him he was not suffering. He was detached from this body-mind complex. It's a great example. Jivan Mukta, the person who is free while living. And apparently you can see that he is in great pain and he is um, suffering as it were. But this is from our standpoint. But from the standpoint of such Jivan Mukta, that means free while living. Nothing like that. He is totally free. And all um, appearance, he also as if lives like that. Like uh, like an actor, what he plays. Suppose a millionaire actor is acting on stage as a beggar. So he'll show that how beggars interact. Though he is a millionaire, but he'll not show like that. that I am a millionaire. So, in this world, it is suffering and suffering and suffering. So, apparently, they will show that suffering, but within themselves, they are in their own realm. So, to show that this incident happened, the person who was bedridden, who could not move, who could not eat and weak, and he ran like an arrow and protected his disciples. So we find this that apparently he is suffering, but within him he is not suffering. So this is a sign of Jivan Mukta, while free, while living. Yes. Also one thing, I know how date palm, if you have seen, lots of thorny um, the stems are there and then leaves. So what they do, they cut a portion of that, and then it is like juice is collected like rubber from rubber plant, and it is collected on a vessel tied with the date palm. So the whole day it may collect, and then in the evening it is taken and good is made, or people drink that juice also. So that is the date palm juice. And there Sri Ramakrishna saw from distance, because his eyes are of yogi's eye. He could, wherever he concentrated, he could know what is there. So his protecting care of all his disciples were very much there. So this incident tells that. Yes.
Holy Mother was frightened when she saw that people had begun worshipping the Master as God. She remembered that he had told her that when people regarded him as God, he would soon leave his body. She recalled, the Master was then lying ill in Kasipur. Some devotees brought some offerings for Mother Kali at Dakshineshwar, but instead of offering them to her, they offered them to the Master's picture there, and then partook of the prasad. On hearing about this, the Master said, just see, the devotees did the wrong thing. All these things were brought for the Divine Mother, but they offered everything here, meaning to himself. I was scared to death. I thought, he is suffering from this dangerous disease. Who knows what will happen next? Who knows what will happen? What a calamity. Why did they do such a thing? Late that night, the Master told me, you will see later that people will worship my picture in their homes. This is surely going to happen. I mean it. I swear it. Don't be worried. This was the only day I heard him using the first person pronoun with reference to himself. Usually he would not speak of himself, not as I or me, but would point to himself and say, this case or this place.
It is, yes, yes. Gradually people could know that he is not an ordinary person, and he himself identified many times with Mother Kali. Therefore, devotees thought, even it happened in Shampukur Bati, the house at Shampukur, there where Sri Ramakrishna stayed, there also a worship was done to Sri Ramakrishna, thinking that Sri Ramakrishna was Mother Kali. Okay, go ahead.
At Kasipur, the Master distributed ochre cloths and rosaries to 12 disciples, and thus laid the foundation for his monastic order. Another day, the Master asked his disciples to go out and beg for food. It is an ancient Indian custom for monks to live on alms. Begging helps eradicate the ego and teaches one to depend solely on God. Narendra, Niranjan, Kali, and Hutko Gopal first went to Holy Mother and asked for alms, chanting this hymn to the goddess Annapurna. O Parvati, goddess of food, whose store is overflowing, O beloved of Shankara, give me alms so that I may attain knowledge and wisdom.
So this is, after achieving or after getting sannyasa, then we also do the same thing. So we go to various places uh, to beg. So this is an ancient practice. Why? Monks are supposed to depend on the society, and in return, they would teach them the ways how to live a good life. What is righteous living? What is spiritual life? So, people might say that monks are like parasites on the society. But then see how simple it is. If you go to school or college to learn philosophy or to learn the good way of living, you have to pay high uh, fees. Whereas monks would come and you have to give only one or two rotis. He has to beg about 3 to 7 houses, and not from one place. It's called madhukari. Madhukari means it's like bee. Bees collect honey from various flowers, little by little, and then they accumulate. But here, in return to a simple roti or simple food, the grihasthas get the highest knowledge. So it is cheaper, and that way Indian culture was saved. Just imagine, when there was no radio, no television, no internet, but whole India, right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from Attak to Katak, that means the whole subcontinent was tuned to spiritual ideas. How? It was through monks. And simple. Say you have to give one food, something, say fruit or maybe one roti and little sabji, and then you ask question. And many times, sannyasins would carry some medicine also. So physical ailment and then mental ailment. If something has happened in a family, they will explain that not to worry, depend on God, and all kinds of consolation and help, mental help also would be given. And it's wonderful, even today you can see monks are begging. Here if we go to begging, police will come and catch us. We cannot do here. So this is the way. So what in our tradition we do at least 3 days. Sometimes, like when people go to Narmada, a river, what they do, they circumambulate river Narmada, keeping Narmada on the right hand side. And, sometimes people will give, but they have to cross one place where everything is taken away. Only maybe little cloth, line cloth or something they leave. All other things will be taken away. And as soon as you cross that area, it is called Shulpani Jhadi. Shulpani. Shulpani is the place, name of the place. Jhadi means forest. Shulpani Jhadi. So as you cross that, then other side people are waiting, keeping everything ready. It's a wonderful experience. And one has to live totally depending on God. That happens in uh, say monastic life, and many people even walk, say grihasthas even. So they also experience like that. Anyway, for monks it is permissible, but grihasthas are not permitted. Okay.
The merciful Holy Mother, taken by surprise, gave them a handful of cooked rice. They then went from door to door begging for food. Some people gave them rice, some gave vegetables or fruit. Some scolded them, saying, "You young fellows, are you not ashamed to dress yourselves as beggars and beg for food? Go away and find a job." Some remarked, "These young men are robbers. They have come to get information so that they can return at night and rob us." The young disciples endured all kinds of verbal abuse. When at last they returned to the Master with their alms, he was very pleased. Holy Mother cooked a portion of the food. After partaking of it, the Master remarked, "Food obtained by begging is pure. It is not defiled by anyone's selfish desire. I am very pleased to eat it today."
I was lucky, when I went for the first day, uh, two, three boys came and said, Maharaj, please come this way. And then I went there, came to know that that lady was disciple of Holy Mother. And she was fasting for that day, right from the morning. And then when I went there, said, Baba, you have come, very good. So Baba means like my son. Baba means father, but affectionately mothers call like that. So I was very fortunate to have that. But it happens. Some people find joy abusing others. So that's also it is to curtail one's ego. So that way also we get some prasad. Yes. And when we come back, first we offer to Sri Ramakrishna, and then the president of the mutt, and then we all share. That day all monks will wait for the alms that new monks would collect and bring. Yes.
Ramakrishna's physical condition deteriorated quickly. It soon became hard for him to swallow any food, and the medicine was ineffective. Holy Mother resolved to seek divine help. She left for the famous Tarakeshwar Shiva temple to get a remedy for her husband's illness. Lakshmi and a maidservant went with her. She later said,
Okay,
"I
just a
went to
minute. Just a minute.
Tarakeshwar and lay down before Lord Shiva without food and drink for 2 days. I prayed and kept vigil, but got no response from the Lord. On the second night, I was startled by a sound, a cracking sound as if someone were striking a heap of baked earthen pots with a heavy cudgel. I got up and this thought came to my mind: who is one's husband? Who are one's relatives? For whose sake am I about to commit suicide here? All my attachments were completely cut asunder, and my mind was filled with renunciation. I groped my way through the darkness to the back of the temple where the holy water offered to Shiva was accumulated in a basin. I splashed that water on my eyes and face and drank it. My throat was dry because I had been fasting. I felt a little refreshed. The next day I returned to Kasipur. The moment the master saw me, he asked, "Well, did you get anything?" Then, flexing his right thumb, he said, "Nothing is real. Isn't that so?"
you know, Now this, let me tell about this. What happens if someone is ill, then one goes to that place, or for that matter any temple, and they pray fasting, and they say bow down there and live like that, and people get, even Holy Mother got, not this time but other times. So this is the way how it is done. And so, like in Bengali, like what he said, displayed like this, nothing. So here it is good, everything is right. But in Bengali, nothing will happen. So this is one difference. Regarding bhiksha, uh, you wanted to say something regarding bhiksha. Um, anyway, it just it slipped from my mind. So that way, um, you know, Holy Mother was dedicated, but at the same time, this idea of renunciation came to her. So that was extraordinary, because this time Sri Ramakrishna thought to close the chapter. So that's why it did not happen. Yes, go ahead.
One day, the master told me that he had a dream. An elephant was trying to get medicine for him. It was digging in the earth for his medicine when Gopal woke him up. Then he asked me whether I had any dream. Once I saw Mother Kali with her neck tilted to one side. I asked her why she stood that way. She replied, "Because of his having that trouble," pointing to the master's wound. "I too am ill."
Hmm. So like he was moving like this. So because of cancer, uh, because he identified himself with Mother Kali. So Mother Kali was tilting her head, denoting that Sri Ramakrishna was suffering. An elephant, this happens that when that spiritual power grows, then it cannot be contained. It's difficult to contain in the body. Sri Ramakrishna would say that when a person goes to Samadhi, he would die in 21 days. Only those who are ordained or instructed by divine, they keep their body. So Sri Ramakrishna's case was like that. So he would give example, like a salt dal, when it enters into the ocean, it melts down. But sometimes, by the grace of Guru, it becomes crystal, and then it is retained. So it is by the will of Lord that his form was retained, and now it is great source of uh, spiritual, um, say like emancipation. So this way, his form mm, was retained. Yes, go ahead.
Holy Mother described this vision in detail to Yogan Ma, who later related the story. When Sri Ramakrishna was gravely ill at the Kasipur garden house, Holy Mother was stricken with grief. One day she had a vision. A black girl with long hair appeared and sat near her. Realizing that it was Mother Kali, she exclaimed, "Oh, you have come." "Yes, I have come from Dakshineshwar." After further conversation, Holy Mother observed that the girl's neck was bent to one side. She asked, "What has happened to your neck?" Mother Kali, "Well, I have a sore throat." Holy Mother, "My goodness, the Master has a sore throat and you also have it." Mother Kali, "That is true." Thus, Holy Mother was made to understand that the Divine Mother and Sri Ramakrishna were one and the same.
Yeah. No, one thing I wanted to talk about the bhiksha, that means begging alms. You know, another kind of devotees or monks will be uh, practicing Akasha Vritti or called Ajagar Vritti. Akasha Vritti means whatever comes by the will of God, like rain comes. No need of going to fetch water. In Portland, we can see a lot. For 6 months, 7 months, it's raining and raining. So it is called Akasha Vritti, like what, depending on the Yadrichalava Santushto Dandavapito Vimatsara. Whatever comes in the way, he is happy with that. And second is Ajagar. Ajagar means python. Python don't go to have bhiksha. Eh, bhiksha comes to its door and then captures. Okay. Our case is like that. Food comes to us. We don't go for begging, but by the grace of mother, food comes to us. So mother provides. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yogin Ma recalled another incident that took place in Kasipur. On another day in Kasipur, Holy Mother carried the master's food to his room, which was on the upper floor. The master asked her, "Do you know how to play Astakaste?" This is a game similar to English Ludo or American Parcheesi. Holy Mother, no. Master, if one can pair two checkers, the opponent cannot take them. Likewise, one should unite oneself with the chosen deity and thus be rid of fear. Otherwise, a ripe checker, one that is near the goal, if it is still single, can be turned back. If a person can move in this world with his chosen deity, like a pair of checkers, he will be saved. As Holy Mother listened, she continued with a small household task in which she had been engaged. Suddenly the master said jokingly, "Are you listening to me or not?" Holy Mother was embarrassed.
So Holy Mother represents getting involved in this world as it were. It's mother's Leela, mother's play. So mother, when her children would not do japam, she said, not to worry, I'll do on your behalf. So mother is like keeping or caring this whole household. So mother, it's not like Sri Ramakrishna. If like Sri Ramakrishna, she would go to samadhi again and again, then she could not have managed the household. Therefore, she was a bit involved. Though mentally also she was detached. But to keep the household, you are to be engaged in this. Whenever she wanted, her mind would be absorbed in the thought of God, but in other times she would be busy in keeping the household. That is why Sri Ramakrishna gave her a support in Radhu. So, here also, Sri Ramakrishna was talking about total renunciation, going back. But mother was engaged in her work, and that's why Sri Ramakrishna said, "Are you listening? Listening to me or not?" So mother was embarrassed. Yes, go ahead.
In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, M records this for 24 April 1886. M came to the garden house accompanied by his wife and a son. The boy was 7 years old. It was at the master's request that he brought his wife, who was almost mad with grief owing to the death of one of her sons. That day, the master several times allowed M's wife the privilege of waiting on him. Her welfare seemed to occupy his attention a great deal. In the evening, the Holy Mother came to the master's room to feed him. M's wife accompanied her with a lamp. The master tenderly asked her many questions about her household. He requested her to come again to the garden house and spend a few days with Holy Mother, not forgetting to ask her to bring her baby daughter. When the master had finished his meal, M's wife removed the plates. He chatted with her a few minutes. About 9 o'clock in the evening, Sri Ramakrishna was seated in his room with the devotees. He had a garland of flowers around his neck. He told M that he had requested his wife to spend a few days at the garden house with Holy Mother. His kindness touched M's heart.
Yeah. So, like this, Holy Mother was to support devotees. It's a great thing. Say, Sri Ramakrishna could not take that care because his mind was most of the time absorbed in samadhi or in ecstatic mood, whereas Mother was there to take care of devotees. And this world is full of miseries. Devotees need some solace, and that is why they would run to Holy Mother. Even like monks also, when monks are in difficulty, then they pray to Mother, "Oh Mother, please save me." So this is it's a secret mantra, though it is known, but it's secret mantra to pray to Mother. It is Mother's play, so we have to take refuge at her feet. Yes.
Yogin Ma was a woman of strong determination. Whatever she undertook, she carried through to perfection. After practicing spiritual disciplines for some time, according to the master's instructions, she decided that Calcutta was not suitable for such practices. The sacred atmosphere of Vrindavan, she thought, would be better. Ramakrishna was then staying at the Kasipur garden house for his cancer treatment. When Yogin Ma asked his permission to go to Vrindavan, he readily agreed, but he asked her if she had talked to Holy Mother about it. Holy Mother was present and said, "You have said whatever there is to be said. What is there to add?" Nevertheless, the master told Yogin Ma, "My dear child, go after obtaining her consent. You will get everything." Just a few days before the master passed away, Durgacharan Nag went to see him. As he entered the room, he heard the master ask for an amalaki fruit, which is soothing for the throat. A devotee replied that none were available because they were out of season. But Durgacharan thought that if the word amalaki came from the master's lips, then the fruit must be available somewhere. Without saying anything, he left in search of it. For 2 days he checked different gardens in the suburbs of Calcutta. On the third day, he appeared before the master with a few amalaki fruits. The master was very pleased and said to Holy Mother, "Please prepare a mixed vegetable curry with hot chilies for him. He is from East Bengal, so he loves hot dishes." When the food was served, however, Durgacharan would not touch it. It was his fasting day, Ekadeshi, i.e., the 11th day of the moon. So the master himself touched the food and sanctified it, and Durgacharan took it as prasad. In his exuberant devotion, Durgacharan ate not only the food, but the leaf plate as well. From that time on, the devotees were careful when serving Durgacharan prasad on a leaf plate.
Hmm.
As soon as he finished his meal, they would snatch away the leaf plate. They even removed seeds and pits from fruits before offering them to him, lest he swallow them.
Yeah, it was a great devotee, Durgacharan Nag, though householder devotee, but jewel in the Ramakrishna order, Durgacharan Nag. Uh,
Swami, is that Nag Mahashay? Same
Nag
thing?
Masha, yes, Nag Masha, a great devotee. I mean, there is no comparison. So, once Girish Chandra was asked, what is the difference between him and say Narendra? Or just it happened that they were talking about, and then Girish Chandra Ghosh said that Naren was big, so big that net of Mahamaya could not catch him. So this is Narendra. And Nag Mahasaya, Durgachara Nag, he was so small, so tiny, that even he went through the net. So mother, the divine mother, could not catch him also. And though he lived a householder's life, but a wonderful life. One has to see, one has to read his biography. Yes, right.
One day, while Holy Mother was cleaning the wound in the master's throat with a cotton swab, he cried out in pain, "Ah, what are you doing?" Then he withdrew his mind from his body and said, "All right, you are cleaning with a swab. Go ahead." He remained silent. Another day, the master said to Holy Mother, "All sufferings have gone through this body. None of you will have to suffer any more. I have suffered for everyone in the world."
So it is like Christ. Christ also suffered for the whole humanity. So we find that this similar idea. Um, and secondly, mind, joining the mind. When he would withdraw his mind, he would not feel pain. And not only that, even for ordinary people, it is like that. Say someone is crying because of pain, but same person sleeps well. So that time, that suffering is absent, because when there is no joining of mind, so that way one can get rid of suffering. So here, in the case of Sri Ramakrishna, it was very distinct. In waking state also he could withdraw his mind from wound or something. When Hari Maharaj had that, Hari Maharaj had a carbuncle. Hari Maharaj is Swami Turiyananda on his back. So doctor wanted to operate. He said, okay, you can operate. He did not want chloroform. So they operated and Hari Maharaj said nothing. And next occasion they wanted to do some dressing. So without saying, they touched it. And Hari Maharaj said, oh, what are you doing? And he cried. He yelled or shouted. And then doctor said, yesterday you did not feel, why? What happened today? Then Hari Maharaj said, you must tell me first. Let me withdraw my mind from there, then you can do. And that he did. And he withdrew his mind, and then doctor changed the dressing. Okay.
Ramakrishna was slowly dropping the curtain on his divine play, so he started making arrangements for Holy Mother. One day, when his nephew Ramlal came to see him at Kasipur, the master said to him, serve the divine mother of Dakshineshwar, then you will not lack anything. He said to Holy Mother, you will live in Kamarpukur and look after Lakshmi for a while. As the devotees lovingly serve me, they will do the same for you. He then told Ramlal, look after your aunt so that she can live in Kamarpukur. Ramlal replied in an unconcerned manner, she can live wherever she wants. The master understood that Ramlal was trying to avoid his responsibility. The master rebuked him, saying, what is this? Why have you become a man? In fact, Ramlal never looked after Holy Mother.
Yeah, that is the hard fact. Rather, Ramlal was instrumental to stop the pension that was supposed to be given to Holy Mother on behalf of Sri Ramakrishna. But he was instrumental to stop that. And that is why the days in Kamarpukur was very difficult for Holy Mother. She would boil some uh, vegetables or maybe greens and some rice with salt. So direct disciples that time they also were going through a difficult period when they also had no food to eat. They also would survive somehow. But Sri Ramakrishna instructed her that not to stretch your hand, palm. You can do this way. That means you can give, but not to accept. That is not to request anyone. Whatever comes by the way of Divine Mother, that's fine. So M used to send some money to Holy Mother, and also sometimes the Balaram's family. So that way, somehow she lived. And to show that this world is like this, the system is made like that. Here nobody is happy. All will have to go through this agony. Three kinds of suffering. Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik and Adhyatmik. Adi Bhautik means whatever is because of five Panchabhuta, five elements. And this body is also made up of five elements. Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik. Whatever happens, the suffering happens because of imbalance in nature. The interaction of various principles like flooding or lots of rain or dry spell, drought, like that. And Adhyatmik, that means whatever happens because of mental agony, mental and spiritual also. Like when we have not realized the self, then we suffer. We suffer a lot. But somehow we cast a blind eye to that. Only those who are fortunate, they can recognize that. They want to be appeased. Judaite chai kothai judai. So I want to be appeased, or like I want to be calm and peaceful, but I don't know where to find it. Bhagavan Buddha identified this. That's why he left the world in search of that peace and tranquility. So very few people can understand this adhyatmic, but other mental agony is experienced by many, and all our sufferings are due to ignorance of our real self. Why? Because the real self is full of bliss, joy, tranquility. There is no strife there. So our suffering is the sign and symptom that we have not transformed ourselves. So that is why we need to put our effort to realize the self. Yes.
Ramakrishna was nearing the ocean of Satchidananda. He began to give his last instructions to Holy Mother. Let me tell you something. Do not stretch out your hand to anyone, even for a penny. You will not lack simple food and clothes. If you hold your hand out to anyone, remember, you will sell him your head also. If it is absolutely necessary, you may beg for your food, but never live in anyone else's house. Devotees may welcome you in their houses, but with great respect and affection, but never allow your own hut in Kamarpakur to fall into disrepair. Please stay in Kamarpakur, grow some spinach, and eat that spinach with rice. Chant the name of God. One day, shortly before his death, the master was gazing intently at Holy Mother. She said, "Tell me, what is on your mind?" He pointed to his body and replied in a tone of complaint, "Look here, won't you do anything? Must this do everything?" "But what can I do?" she protested. "I am a mere woman." "No, no," the master insisted. "You will have to do many things." Another day at Kasipur, Holy Mother carried the master's food to his room and found him lying in bed with his eyes closed. She said aloud, "Please get up, it is your mealtime." When the master opened his eyes, he appeared to have returned from a faraway realm. He said to her in an abstracted mood, look at the people of Calcutta. They are like worms squirming in darkness. You must bring light to them. This is not my burden alone. You too shall have to share it."
So here, Sri Ramakrishna is allocating her part, what to play. And not only that, in Mundak Upanishad it is said that how a knower of self departs from this world. He imparts all the what is to be done, and he even thanks the world and then quietly passes away. So Sri Ramakrishna was instructing not only Holy Mother, was instructing to other people also, like Narendranath and other disciples, so that his mission is fulfilled. Especially, he took the instrument of Narendranath to spread his ideas and ideals. So, here people of Calcutta means the worldly people. They are suffering, so please look after them. And this time, Mother played a great role spreading the spiritual ideas. And especially this, our center, Portland, we consider this as Jairambati of the Western world. So Holy Mother is very much present here. And that is why people also get solace when they come here. So look at the people of Calcutta. They are like worms swarming in darkness. You must bring light to them. This is not my burden alone. You too shall have to share it. And Holy Mother performed this right from 1886 up to 1920. So long 34 years after Sri Ramakrishna's passing. She guided the Ramakrishna order also. And especially when it was in difficult period, because that time India was undergoing a political upheaval, because India was subjugated by the English, and people were trying to cut that shackle of subordination. And many people took to arms, and sometimes while doing this they also had the inspiration to have a spiritual life. So some revolutionary would come to Holy Mother, and Mother gave protection to them. And it happened that once the Governor General doubted the activities of Ramakrishna Mission, but it is by advice of Mother to go to the Governor General to explain our ways of life, and then that problem was solved. So Holy Mother played a great say anchor, and guided the nascent organization. Okay, it's time. We'll stop here. Akshay,
Yes,
anything?
yes.
Okay.
Like, so is it, so we cannot ask other for help? Is it wrong?
For you, you are, you are with the family, so you are under the care of parents. You can ask to your parents, not other people. If you ask someone, then they will not feel good. So it is not to ask others. You can ask your parents or say your elders, whosoever with you. But it is for us. Even monks also don't expect anything more than, say, a little morsel of food. But if you can endure this, then you'll understand the strength that you'll attain, the mental strength. It is tremendous. That I am not under anybody. But for you, you are not yet grown. And when you grow, you are to support others. So Sri Ramakrishna would say like this, you can do like this, but not like this. That means not ask, but you can give. And Yudhishthir was so great that he would give without asking. So our Holy Mother is also like that. You no need of asking her. She knows what is required, and she gives. Similarly, uh, we have to emulate this quality. That when we see and understand that somebody in need, then uh, we have to give ourselves. Not that we have to wait for his or her asking. So this is a great quality that we have to emulate in our character. So for you, you can ask to your parents whatever is required. And monks, yes, monks also can ask. This is called uh, five yama: satya, ahimsa, brahmacharya, asteya, aparigraha. Aparigraha means not coveting anything, even mentally. You should not think that, oh, I should get this, I should get that. That means you have hunger for worldly things. So this is a great quality, that we should not hanker things of the world from anyone. But you see, you are not earning and you are not ordained also. So for you, it is not harmful. Right? What was your question last time? Do you
Mm,
remember?
I forgot.
Okay. Okay. So is it clear? For you,
Yes,
it is not harmful. We have to ask our parents. Um, but when you can earn, then you have to support others. Right?
thank.
Somebody said something? Okay.
Swami Pranam.
Okay, namaste. So we'll say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much.